welcome to this video series on aptitude presented by Mentors for IAS in association with Bangalore IAS Academy and Namak APSC. So continuing this video series on aptitude, in today's session we'll be discussing HCF and LCM. Now this particular topic is very straightforward. Not a very favorite topic when it comes to your aptitude questions, but nonetheless it is possible that you might get, rarely, occasionally you might get certain questions from HCF and LCM. So why simply leave out a very simple topic which you can obviously everybody can understand and everybody should be able to solve. The only problem when it comes to HCF and LCM is that when you come across a particular question, you should be able to identify whether the question is asking for you to find out the highest common factor or the least common multiple. That is the only big problem over here. You have to identify by reading the problem if you have to find out the HCF of the given numbers or you have to find out the LCM of the given numbers. How do you find out? Once again, through practice. Okay, but yes, after you read the question you should be able to identify if the question is asking for more, maximum or minimum. Okay, it is based on that you should be able to understand. So let me just give you a brief introduction to HCF and LCM in case somebody or anybody, any of you have actually lost out on this, because obviously it would have been many years after school. So HCF actually stands for highest common factor. HCF is nothing but highest common factor. Okay, so the HCF of two or more numbers will be the greatest number that divides each of them exactly. Let me give you an example over here. Okay, say for example I have two numbers 20 and 50. Now, if I have to find out the HCF of 20 and 50, what does the HCF of 20 and 50 mean? It means that the HCF of 20 and 50 will be the largest number. It will be the biggest number in value which can divide both 20 and 50 without leaving a remainder. So how do you find out the HCF of 20 and 50? Very simple. I will take 20, I will take 50. So I will try to represent 20 as a product of its prime numbers. So how can I represent 20 as a product of its prime numbers? What is 20? 20 is nothing but what? 4 into 5 is 20. What is 4? 4 is nothing but 2 square. So can I write 20 as nothing but 2 into 2 into 5? Correct? This is nothing but 20. 2 2s are 4, 4 5s are 20. Similarly, I will write 50 as a product of its prime numbers. So how can I represent 50 as a product of its prime numbers? Now 25 2s are 50, 25 is nothing but 5 square. So it is nothing but 2 into 5 into 5. So 2 5s are 10, 10 5s are 50. So obviously 50 is nothing but a product of 2 and 5 square. So now, after representing these numbers as a product of its prime numbers, how do I identify the highest common factor? Now look at this. 2 and 2 is common. Okay, let me circle this 2 and 2. What else is common? Obviously 5 and 5, they are common. This 2 is extra, I don't have this here. This 5 is also extra, I don't have 5 over here. Then after identifying the common prime numbers, I just have to multiply them. So I take 2, since 2 is common I will take 2, since 5 is common I will take 5, I will multiply them both. 5 2s are nothing but 10. Therefore the HCF of 20 and 50 is what? It is 10. What does this mean? 10 is the largest number, 10 is the biggest number which can divide both 20 and 50. I hope this is understood. See, for example, 5 can also divide 20, 5 can also divide 50. But 10 is the largest number. 10 is the largest number which can divide both 20 and 50. There is no other number which can divide 20 and 50 and is larger than 10. 10 is the largest number. Therefore, 10 is the highest common factor, where 20 and 50 are both multiples of 10. But now the problem is, see, this factorization method, this is known as the factorization method. Okay, now this factorization method is very simple. You have to represent everything in terms of as a product of its prime numbers. However, what if I ask you for the HCF of, say, 754 and 1334? Now, if you have to write 754 as a product of its prime numbers, it will take a long time. Similarly, 1334, it can take a long time. So similarly, there could be some questions where the value of these such numbers could be larger. Then we have another method known as the division method. It is the division method. So how do we find out the highest common factor by the division method? Very simple, just follow here. So I will take the two numbers. I will take the larger value, that is 1334, and divide this by the smaller number. Okay, so I am going to write 1334 over here and then divide it by 754. Is this clear? Okay, now twice is more than 1400. Okay, so only one time. Okay, so what do I have here? I have 7, 5, and I have 4. So 4, 4 is 0. This is 13, this is 2, 13, 5, 8. 12 minus 7 is 5. Okay, now I get the remainder 580. Now please remember what to do next. Once I get the remainder as 580, I will divide 754, that is a divisor, by 580. So I am bringing this 754 here. So I will divide 754 by the remainder now. Okay, I am dividing 754 by 580. Now again, this will have to be 580 one time is nothing but 580 itself. So what do I get here? I have 4. So this is 6, 15, 5, 2, 7, 1. I again have a remainder. So now I will divide 580 by 174. So I am bringing 580 over here. Okay, I am dividing it by 174. So 174 2 is 34, 340. Let me try by 3 over here. So it should be 12, 522. Okay, yeah, 522 should do. Okay, so what I will do is 3 times. So it is 522. Okay, 80 minus 20, 62, 58. Okay, again I have a remainder. So again I will divide 174 over here. Okay, see, this is very simple. 174, 3 is 58. Obviously here 58. I should try it with 3 over here because 8 3 is 24. 3 is 24, 5 3 is 15, 17. Yes. Okay. Now I get this remainder 0. So you have to continue this until you get the remainder as 0. Once you get the remainder as 0, the divisor over here, 58. This will be the highest common factor of 754 and 1334. So the highest common factor of 754 and 1334 is nothing but 58. So either you can do it by the factorization method or you could do it by the division method. See, I can do it for 20 and 50 as well over. Now this should be very simple. So I will divide 50 by 20. 20 2 is what? 40. I get the remainder 10. I'll bring 20 here. Okay, so 10 2s are 20. Okay, I get the remainder as 0. Then 10 is the highest common factor for us. So this is known as HCF. Very simple. So please remember both the methods, the factorization method and the division method. Very simple. You can just practice for 2 other numbers. Take any number. Okay, just take any number, try to find out, because please remember calculators are actually not allowed over here. Now next we have to consider LCM. We have to consider LCM. Now LCM stands for what? Nothing but your least common multiple. LCM is nothing but your least common multiple. What does this mean? If you have 2 or more numbers, Then LCM is the smallest number which is exactly divisible by each one of the given numbers. Okay, for example, let me take 12 and 15. Okay, what is the LCM of 12 and 15? Very simple. I'm just going back to your school mathematics. I'm going to write 12 by 15. Now here, please remember, even though you have this temptation for shortcuts over here, okay, straight away take a higher number, because the rule is always do it with prime numbers. Of course, when there are multiples, you don't have to take prime numbers. You can do it without prime numbers, but I will not suggest, because always there is ground for mistake. There are grounds for mistake. So even though I am also tempted here, I will always do it with you step by step. We will take it along with prime numbers itself. So I'll start with 2. Okay, what do I get? I get 6, 15, again 2, I get 3 and 15. Next I'll take 3, 1, this is 5, and finally 5, 1 and 1. So we continue until we get 1. Then what is the LCM? LCM is nothing but 1 into 5 into 3 into 2 into 2. So what is the LCM? 5 2s are 10, 10 3s are 30, 30 2s are 60. Therefore the LCM of 12 and 15 is nothing but 60. What does this mean? 60 is the smallest number which is both divisible by 12 and 15. See, for example, 30, take 30. 30 is divisible by 15 but not by 12. Similarly, if you take 24, 24 is divisible by 12 but not by 15. What is that number which is divisible by both 15 and 12? It is 60. The first number to be divisible by both 12 and 50 is 60. 120 is also divisible by 12 and 15, but this is not the smallest number. The smallest number to be divisible by both 12 and 50 is known as the least common multiple. So now if you've understood both HCF and LCM, I want you to remember this. Okay, what I want you to remember is the product of two numbers is always equal to the product of their LCM and HCF. Meaning, if I have two numbers n1 and n2, the product of n1 and n2 will always be equal to the product of their LCM and HCF. Meaning, n1 and n2, if you multiply n1 and n2, it should be equal to the product of their LCM and HCF. The product of the two numbers will be equal to the product of their LCM and HCF. You can just remember this over here. Just remember this over here. Now, I hope everybody is comfortable with finding out LCM, because when we continue with this video series, obviously you will have several other places where you'll have to find the LCM. For example, say for example, if I want x by 10 and x by 12, now simply I could just cross multiply this. See, 12x plus 10x, what am I doing here? Cross multiplication, divided by 10 into 12. This is nothing but what? 22x by 120, simplified to 11x by 60. Okay, but if I have to take LCM, what do I have to do? I have to take the LCM for 10 and 12. So 5 and 6. So this is 6 and 5. Okay, so again 2, 5, 3, 3, 5, 1 and 5. So 5 3s are 15, 15 4s are 60. So therefore the LCM is 60. So I have the denominator as 60, multiple of 10, 6 times, plus 12, 5 times. What is it? The same thing. This is how you get the LCM. Please remember these things. These are elementary mathematics. Okay, so this is very simple. The other thing what I want you to remember is that, see, for example, if you take any two numbers, take 20 and 50. Take 20 and 50. Now earlier we had found out the HCF of 20 and 50. What was the HCF of 20 and 50? The HCF of 20 and 50 was nothing but 10. I hope you remember this. The HCF of 20 and 50 was 10. Now when you have a ratio of two numbers, 20 and 50, now can I simplify this? Of course I can simplify this. I can just cancel 0 and 0. What do I get? 2 and 5. Now if I wish to go back to the original number, if I wish to go back to the original number, that is, if I want the original numerator and denominator, I simply have to multiply the HCF. I will get it back. So if I want the original number, what do I have to do? I have to multiply the HCF to the numerator. I have to multiply the HCF to the denominator. I'll get 20 by 50. So this is a very simple explanation to HCF and LCM. So we will quickly take up a few problems because the introduction itself has taken a lot of time. We'll quickly take up a few problems. Okay. Now here the question says 3 different containers contain 496 liters, 403 liters, 713 liters of mixtures of milk and water respectively. What biggest measuring can will be able to measure all the different quantities exactly? Now what it is trying to say is that there are 3 containers. This is 496 liters, 403 liters and 713 liters. Okay, now you need a smaller measuring can, okay, or a measuring beaker for example. Okay, now what should be the quantity of this small measuring beaker such that it should be able to measure all these 3 containers? Say for example over here, okay, if this measuring beak has a capacity for 100 liters. Okay, now if somebody comes and asks for 496 liters, how can you give him exactly 496 liters? You can give him 4 times 400 liters. Now how will you provide him with another extra 96 liters? It is difficult. Similarly, with the same measuring beaker, you will have to give 403 and 713 liters as well. It is not possible. So now the question is asking for what? The question is asking for the HCF, the highest common factor, meaning the largest number which can divide 496, 403 and 713. So I don't want the LCM, I want the HCF of 496, 403 and 713, the largest number which can divide 496, 403 and 713 over here. Now in this question, since the options are given over here, I don't have to directly find out the LCM or HCF. Let me cross check from the options itself. See, any number that you take, obviously 1, you can obviously divide everything by 1. 2 numbers having HCF as 1, they are known as co-primes. They are known as co-primes. Any 2 numbers for whom the HCF is 1, they are nothing but co-primes. So until and unless 41, 31 and 7 they are not the HCF, I should not consider 1. Also remember, while considering the HCF from the options, consider the largest value first, because it is very much possible that 41 liters also divides all these numbers, 31 liters also divides all these numbers, 7 liters also divides all these numbers, that is 496, 403 and 713. So what will happen is that if you start in this direction, as soon as you take 7 and if you check if 7 divides all these numbers, then you will immediately mark this. But what do you want? You want the largest number, that is the highest common factor. Maybe 31 is also going to divide 496, 403 and 713 together. So you have to check for 31, don't stop at 7. So the better idea is to start in the opposite direction. So I will first check for 41. Can 41 divide 496? Now obviously this division is not necessary, but for the sake of explanation, I can straight away say that 496 cannot be divided by 41. So I'll just do this over here. 41 ones are 41. What do I get? 8, 6. 2s are, what is it? 82. 6, I'm getting a remainder. So this is not divisible. If 1 is not divisible, then the entire option is incorrect. Let me check with 31 then. Okay, I have to check 31. Okay, now if I'm checking for 31, 1 times it is 31, 8, 6. So if this is 6, I must check by multiplying 6 times. So 6 3s are 18. Okay, it is divisible. So this is divisible, but I cannot stop here. I have to check for 403 and 713 as well. It could very much be possible that only 496 is divisible, but whereas 403 and 713 is not divisible. So I cannot stop with 496. I'll have to check for both 403 and 713. I'll take the next number. 31. 1s are 31. 9, 3. So this is 3. I'll try multiplying it by 3 itself. So 3 3s are 9. Okay, again divisible. So 403 is also divisible. One last is 730. I have 31. I can try with 2 times, twice. So 2, 6, I get 93. Okay, again 93 is divisible. Okay. So 31 can divide 496, 403 and 713. So obviously our answer should be C, 31 liters. I don't even have to check for 7 liters. Even if 7 liters, if 7 can divide 496, 403 or 713. So the largest measuring can which should be able to measure all the 3 containers, 496 liters, 403 liters and 713 liters is C, 31 liters. Second question. Now second question is the maximum number of students among whom 1001 pens and 910 pencils can be distributed in such a way that each student gets the same number of pens and the same number of pencils. Now please understand the question. Now the question is saying we have 1001 pens and 910 pencils. Okay, so we have to form a group of students. Okay, and I have to distribute the pens between these group of students and also the pencils among these students such that every student will get the same number of pens, also equal number of pencils. Let me give you an example over here. What if I form a group of 100 students? Okay, 100 students. Now if I have to distribute the pens among 100 students, what will happen? Every student will get 10 pens. Every student will get 10 pens. So 100 tens are, I have distributed 1000 pens, correct? If I give every student out of 100 students 10 pens, I have distributed 1000 pens. What about this extra pen? This extra pen will go to one student. So out of 100 students, one will get 11 pens, 99 will get 10 pens. But what is the question asking for? It should be distributed in such a way that each student gets the same number of pens and the same number of pencils. The same thing will happen with pencils as well. If I have 100 students over here, every student will get how many pencils? Every student will get 9 pencils, but I'll still have 10 remaining. 10 more students will get each pencil extra. So I'm not able to divide the pens and pencils equally among them. I have to form a group where the pens and pencils can be divided in equal number. Okay, once again here I have to find out the HCF, meaning a number which will be or which will represent the group of students which can divide both 1001 and 910 pencils. Again I will cross check from the options itself. Now this is very simple. Over here I don't even have to divide anything. Obviously this is a value greater than all three. I don't have to do it. 1001 divides 1001 but not 910. 910 divides 910 but not 1001. How about 91? 91 does divide 910. 91 tens is nothing but 910. What about 91 into 11? 91 into 11 is what? Nothing but 1001. Therefore, the option is 91, meaning each group or the group of students must be 91. So, group of students will be 91. So, if I divide 1001 pens among 91 students, every student will get how many pens? 11 pens. So, it is the same, it is equally distributed among all students. Similarly, if I distribute pencils, every student will get 10 pencils. It is equally distributed among all students. Therefore, the correct answer is 91. Third question, simple one. The ratio of two numbers is 3:4 and their HCF is 4. What is their LCM? Very simple. Now, in the introduction, I did mention if you have the ratio, simplified version, if you want the original numbers, you just have to multiply it by their HCF. So what are the original numbers? 4 3s are 12, 4 4s are 16. So now you have found out the original numbers. Now the question is asking for their LCM. So now you want the LCM for 12 and 16. Please do it step by step. It does not matter how tempting it is. Do not do it. Do not go for shortcuts. Do not take 4 or 3 in the beginning itself. Always start with 2. Okay. So what do I have here? I have 6 and I have 8 here. I have 3 and I have 4 here. I have 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 2, sorry, 1, and I have 3 over here. So what is the LCM over here? 2 2s are 4, 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16, 16 3s are 48. Simple, straightforward. 48 is the answer. Yes, 48 is the answer. Next one. A newspaper vendor visits your home every day. Once in every 3 days, the postman visits, and once every 4 days, the milkman visits. How many days all the 3 will visit your home in a month? See, what the question is asking for is, see, just let me just write the dates in a month. See, your month will start with the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth. Then we have 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, and so on. Question says the newspaper vendor will visit every day. Every day the newspaper vendor is visiting your house to deliver your newspaper. Whereas the postman visits every 3 days. So I have the postman visiting on 3rd, postman visiting on 6th, postman visiting on 9th, postman visiting on 12th, postman visiting on 15th, and so on. Whereas the milkman visits once every 4 days. So milkman will visit on 4th, milkman will visit on 8th, milkman will visit on 12th. Now check here. On 12th, milkman is visiting, postman is visiting, obviously the newspaper vendor is also visiting. So 12th, for the first time, all the 3 persons, newspaper vendor, postman and milkman, are visiting on the same day. So the question is asking on how many days all the 3 will visit your home in a month. So they will all visit on the same day once every 12 days. So if it is a month, they will visit on the same day on 12th, and for the next time on 24th. 24th, why? 12 plus 12, 24th. On 24th, once again, the newspaper vendor, the postman and the milkman will all visit together. So on 24th, they will visit in a month. The next time when will they visit on the same day? Another 12 days later. It should be the 2nd of next month, considering that this month has only 30 days. But this is of next month. But the question is asking for how many days, on how many days will all the 3 visit your home in a month? How many days? It is nothing but twice, or once every 12 days. Once every 12 days. So on how many days all the 3 visit your home in a month? So it actually has to be once every 12 days. Just a second over here. Okay. So the newspaper vendor is going to visit once every 12 days, or 2 times in a month, twice a month. So I'm sorry, over here the statement is actually asking how many days all the 3 will visit your home in a month. If that is the question, it has to be twice or once every 12 days. Now, how do you find this out? Do you have to find the HCF or the LCM? It is actually the LCM. Please try to understand. It is actually the LCM. So I want the LCM for 1, 3, and 4. Because why? Newspaper vendor visits every day. Postman visits 3 days once. Milkman visits 4 days once. So I have to find out the LCM for 1, 3, and 4. What is the LCM for 1, 3, and 4? This is nothing but 3, 2, and 2. 1, 1. This is 4. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. So 2 to the 4, 4 3s are 12. So obviously every 12 days once all 3 will visit together. Okay, this is not 12 times. Once every 12 days, or in a month twice. Twice in a month. I'm sorry, the options and the statement is not matching. But I'm just explaining it. Once every 12 days or twice in a month. Okay, next question, fifth one. Six bells commence tolling together and toll intervals of 2 seconds, 4 seconds, 6 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds, 12 seconds respectively. So in 30 minutes, how many times will they toll together? Now this is very simple to the previous question. Obviously, we have to find out the LCM. We have to find out the LCM for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. What is the LCM? Okay, very simple. 2, this is 2, this is 3, 4, 5 and 6. Again 2, 1, 3, 2, 5 and 3. See, you could have straight away taken 4 over here, but fine, we'll do it step by step. 1, 3, 1, 5, 3. We have 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 and 3. Sorry, 1 and 5. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So what is the LCM now? LCM is nothing but 5 2s are 10. 10 into 4, 2 to the 4, 4 to the 12. 120. 120. So what does this mean? All the bells will toll or ring together every 120 seconds or every 2 minutes, because 1 minute is made up of 60 seconds. 120 seconds means 2 minutes, meaning all the bell will ring together, all the bell will toll together every 2 minutes. If all the bell will toll together every 2 minutes, in 30 minutes how many times will they toll? Nothing but 30 by 2, 15 times. All the bells will toll together 15 times within this 30 minutes. Now the problem is that many of us, as soon as we get 15 over here, we will go and mark this option 15. But the question is saying the 6 bells commence tolling together, meaning when the time starts, when the time is going to start from 0, they will toll together once. After that, they will toll every 2 minutes together. So the correct answer is 1 plus 15. So when the time begins, they will all toll together and then the time starts. After the time starts, every 2 minutes they will start tolling together, that is 15 times. But you have to consider the first toll as well. So it is 15 plus 1. The correct answer is 16, not 15. Please don't make such careless mistakes even after finding out the entire answer. So this should give you a brief understanding. See, there are several other type of problems as well in HCF and LCM, but very rarely asked. But it is important that you know HCF and LCM as well. It's a very simple, straightforward. The only problem is you have to identify if it is LCM or HCF that you have to find out. So there are 3 problems over here for practice. The answers will be posted in the comment section. If you do have any doubts, please do write to us. In more problems, in the coming videos, I will take up more important topics like time and work, both science streams, which are very, very important. Plus, there are other reasoning questions which will also have to be covered. So thank you for watching. If you do have any doubts, please do write to us.